Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flight Sim channel. My name is Captain Flako, and in today's video we're going to be going over the blacksquare TBM850 Autopilot basics. So with that being said, let's dive right into the cockpit and get you guys going. Perfect. Alright, so now that we're in the cockpit, I'm going to go over the basic functions of the autopilot and navigation system. Now, if you press Control-Shift-1, it's going to bring you closer here and just kind of use the arrow keys to scroll over here to your GPSs and navigation systems. Now, this aircraft gives you the option of using the GTN 750, which is this screen here, or the GNS 530, which is this one here. So I'm going to switch it over to the 530 so you can see what it does to the stack. As you can see, it changed the navigation system here. Now, if you have the GTN 750 add-on, you're able to use the 750. So for this video's purpose, we're going to use the 750. It's not going to affect the autopilot function. This is more for the navigation purpose and setting up a flight plan. You can do the same thing on the 530. The 750 is just a little newer and gives you a little more options and stuff like that. It's a little more user-friendly, bigger screen too as well. So with that being said, let's just gonna set up a quick flight plan from here, from MCO, where I'm at in Orlando right now at the airport, and we're gonna go to Kissimmee, which is a short hop, and this way we can go over the basic autopilot functions. So real quick, we'll go to flight plan, and it's already set in there. So you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this flight plan. So just to walk you guys through it. So we're in MCO, right? So Kilo Mike Charlie Oscar, enter. Perfect. And we're gonna go to Kissimmee, KISM, enter. Perfect. See, as you can see, it's only 9.7 nautical miles down the road. So for right now, all this did was it's telling the GPS, hey, I want you to go from Orlando to Kissimmee, and it's gonna give us a straight shot there. So as you can see, let's zoom out a little bit. This is just a direct GPS way to get to Kissimmee. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as is, and we're going to get airborne. And this way we can go over some basic autopilot functions, and then we'll make our way down to Kissimmee and show you how to load in an approach and stuff like that. So, all right, first off, to make life easier, I'm going to set up the heading. So if we take a look, Control-Shift-1 as well. Here is our heading bug. So if we press it, it's going to coordinate the bug perfect, boom, to where we're pointing at. If you scroll left or scroll right, it'll move the heading. But for now, I'm going to keep the runway heading of 360, perfect, north. And also, I'm going to go ahead and just give myself about 3,000 feet of altitude. I know this kind of gets in the way. It's kind of annoying. Let's see where we're at. 2,200 feet. 28, two more. All right. Okay. 4,800. It's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back. You know what? 4,200, because I'm not going to deal with this thing popping up in my face and can't see what I'm doing. But anyways, I'm kind of presetting this already, so as soon as I get airborne, gear up, flaps up, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the autopilot and let the autopilot do its thing. So with that being said, I'm going to let go of the parking brake. All right. Our flaps are set. Good. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get airborne. All right, here we go. Airspeed is alive. All right, we're gonna rotate. And we are airborne. Positive rate of climb, so we're gonna go gear up. See the gears coming up. All right, so one shortcut that you guys may or may not know, if you press the Z key in your keyboard, it'll turn on the autopilot. So I'm going to go ahead and activate autopilot. Okay, autopilot's on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the heading mode. So here's your autopilot controls up here. Nice and convenient in the center up top. So as you can see, aircraft is following the heading that we preset when we were on the ground. And now I'm going to go ahead and set the altitude. Now, I made a mistake here. By hitting altitude, it's just going to maintain the altitude that you're currently at. So now that we did that, I'll show you guys how to go up. Go Control Shift 1, see if this thing doesn't get in the way. All right, so I want to go up, let's see, 2,500 feet or 4,300 feet. I think it's because you see the bigger knob and the smaller knob. I think the bigger knob goes up by thousands. Let's see. Yeah, you see, that's what it is. I keep scrolling the bigger one. So 2,300. Let's try to keep it on the smaller knob. 2,600 feet. Perfect. All right. So I want to go to 2,600 feet. Let me bring my throttle down a little bit. Okay, 2,600 feet. So we're going to go ahead and engage this. And now we're going to go ahead and change our... If you press the button, it'll go into your vertical speed. So now I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, I want you to go up at 1,200 feet per minute. And there you go. She's climbing. And you know what? We're going to climb a little harder. Let's go 2,000 feet per minute. It'll get there quicker. All right, so pretty basic. Look, hands off the controls. We're airborne. Aircraft is following the heading that we pre-selected, and the aircraft is climbing to our designated altitude that we preset, which I believe was 2,300 feet. All right, so here's your yaw dampener. Always good to turn on your yaw dampener. All this does is eliminate the kind of like, not vibrations, but kind of the aircraft will kind of move left and right, and this will kind of dampen that and make it smoother flight. And then we'll turn on our flight director too. Perfect. Did I set it to 25? I think I did set to 25. You can always click here and see. Okay. Oh, it's 2,600 feet. Okay. All right. No problem. So we're there. 2,600 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and make a left-hand turn just using the heading bug. So because we're in heading mode, aircraft is going to follow along. Just going to face west all the way 270. Now let me show you this real quick. We'll get in here. See, the orange is where we're bugging, where we're telling the aircraft we want to go. And if you look here, 270, and you'll see this number change as I move the heading bugs. But we're gonna, for now, we're gonna go 270. Face west. We don't want to go too far north, so we can get to Kissimmee. All right, so perfect. Now I'm gonna climb up to 4,000 feet, and I'm gonna show you a different way that you can climb. Let's see here. Let's go. Boom. 36 and smaller. 4,000 feet. All right. Now 4,000 feet. Now let me show you this. On your autopilot, you have altitude, which is your altitude hold mode, which is right now, that's where we're at. You see, heading, holding altitude. Now if we go IAS, which is airspeed hold mode, it's pretty much like if you ever flown another aircraft, it's your flight level change. Now what does this mean? As you can see right now, we're holding about 180 something, almost 190 knots. Now I'm gonna switch it to airspeed hold mode. Now pretty much what this is doing is pretty much telling the aircraft, hey, I want you to climb to 4,000 feet, but I want you to maintain this speed. So let's see what happens now. All right, so pretty much the aircraft is telling me right now, you see it's not climbing, the aircraft's like, hey, Flako, if you want me to climb, brother, and maintain the speed, I can't. I need more power. So let's give it more power. There you go, the nose. You see the nose coming up just so ever slightly, because the aircraft is pretty much saying, hey man, you're maxing me out. This is as fast as I can climb to hold that speed. Now let's do something. Let's go back to altitude hold mode, 2,900 feet. Now I'm gonna bring the speed down. Let's get that Airspeed down. Okay, let's keep it right there around 160. Alright, so now let's tell the aircraft, hey, I want to go back to 4,000. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's 4,900. Little arrows can get tricky. Let me get in here. Okay, 4,000 feet. Now let's go back to airspeed hold mode. Okay. Now, we're holding the airspeed. Aircraft is very slowly climbing, but now I'm going to give it power and let's see what happens. There you go. Now the aircraft's like, okay, yeah, with all this power, I can definitely climb and maintain 164 knots or roughly around there. So this is pretty much how the airspeed hold mode works. It's kind of like a flight level change, and if you look here, it even says flight level change here, as you can see. So now I'm gonna do it vice versa. I want to tell the aircraft I'm gonna slow down. Actually, no, I want to keep the speed. Show you guys how it works with the speed up. So I'm gonna tell the aircraft, man, I want to go back to 2,000 feet. Okay, 2,000 feet. Now let's go ahead and engage the airspeed hold mode. So now the aircraft is like, hey man, you're maxing me out because I am full throttle. I cannot dip my nose down and go down to 2,000 feet because I'm going to start climbing on speed. Now let's kill the power. And there you see the nose dipping down. And now he's like, yeah, I can definitely dip the nose down and maintain that speed that you told me to maintain. So pretty basic, pretty easy. You can either use the altitude and use your vertical speed. And you can also adjust your vertical speed through here. You don't have to do it over here. Or you can do the flight level change mode or airspeed hold mode, however you want to refer to it. So you have two different ways of climbing and descending. Now, all right, now that we have our basics, left, right turns, up and down, you know, let's go ahead and set ourselves up with an approach. So let's go in here. Let's go to our 750 here. So we're going to Kissimmee. As you can see, let's zoom out here. Kissimmee's down here. So I'm going to tell the... Clear this message here. I'm going to tell the autopilot, not the autopilot, I'm sorry. I'm telling the GPS, hey, I want to go ahead and go to Kissimmee. Kissimmee Airport, perfect approach. But I want to do ILS runway 15. Perfect. So this is the transition, perfect, boom. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load the approach and activate it. Okay. So now, go back to our map. So now, from heading mode, I'm going to switch over to nav mode. And there goes the aircraft turning and pointing us towards Kissimmee. I'm going to pick up the speed here a little bit. So let's go look. While we're holding here 2,000 feet, we're kind of pointing down the right direction. Let's take a look at here. So pretty much the flight plan is telling, because we loaded and activated that approach, we're going to go to WARPO. And WARPO's telling me, hey, at this waypoint, you need to be at 2,000 feet. This is the course that we need to be at, 158. So as you can see, we're heading there. This number is decreasing. And then from WARPO to WADSI, we're going to be at 1,200 feet. So let's keep that in mind. WARPO to WADSI, we're going to be at 1,200 feet. So right now, we're going to hold 2,000. Let's go ahead and preset our altitude here. Oh, sorry, I changed it. Okay, 1,200 feet. Perfect. All right, so we're making our way to Werpo. Let's go back. Now, let's take a look again here. So you can see Werpo and Watsy are pretty close to each other. So I'm going to start go ahead and reducing power. And let's see, we're about 3.9 nautical miles. Because the distance between the two waypoints are so close, I'm going to go ahead and start descending down. So you know what? I'm going to use the hold speed mode. And there she goes. We're going to come down to 1,200 feet. And it's very important that you get these altitudes right. Because if you want to catch the glide slope, you want to be at the right altitude. Let's take a look here. Scroll over. Here we go. We're about 2 nautical miles from Werpo, and then Watsy is going to be the next one. As you can see, it's already kind of switching over to Watsy. All right. Take a look one more time. Zoom in. Okay, making our way to Watsy. And then from Watsy, it's pretty much a straight shot to runway 15. So once we get to Watsy, we should be able to pick up the glide slope and make our way down to runway 15 using ILS. So let's see what happens. We're still about 6 miles out. We're just about getting to 1,200 feet. Let's go back to our map. Perfect. Okay. Everything's looking good. I'm going to pick up the speed just a tad bit. All right. And I like to keep an eye on my waypoint here, because this way I know when it's supposed to grab the glide slope. So pretty much when we cross over this point here, it should switch over and guide us directly in. Alright, so we're about 3.2 nautical miles. I'm gonna go ahead and start slowing her down. We got a message on the GPS. Arrival at waypoint Watsy. Perfect. So you can probably see the airport is directly ahead of us and the runway is right there. Perfect. So we're on track. Looking good. We're about 1.7 nautical miles, so I'm gonna go ahead, reduce power a little more. I'm gonna go ahead and set flaps 1. Gonna go ahead and set the gear down. All right, now keep an eye on here. Boom, we're set up. Let's go ahead and activate our approach mode. And there she goes. She picked up the glide slope. And then you can tell right here also, it switched over to glide slope. See, we passed the Watsy point and it picked up the glide slope. So at this point, now it's just maintain the airspeed and bring her home. take a look outside. So you can see we got 2 white, 2 red. We ain't dead. Or 2 red, 2 white. We aight. So looking good. Message on the GPS. Clear that. Ooh, perfect. All right. She's looking really, really good. .500 feet. So at this point here, we're below 500 feet. It's a beautiful day, clear as day. You can see the runway. I'm gonna go ahead and deactivate the autopilot and take control. So again, guys, it's Z on the keyboard. Turns off the autopilot. You can hear the audible, and we've got control. And now we just fly her in. Bring her in nice and easy. Flaring, bring the power down. Beautiful. And that's pretty much an ILS approach. So welcome to Kissimmee Gateway Airport. Now, what I'm going to do and I'm gonna make my way to the end of the runway. We're gonna turn around and we are going to change up the scenario to put our skills to the test. So at this point, you guys already learned the basics. All I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna bring the flaps up to takeoff configuration. And like my good friend Captain Gonzo says, it's my flight simulator, my airfield. Do what I want. I'm gonna go ahead and bust a U-turn here. All right, bust a U-turn, and we're gonna fly right back to Orlando, but we're gonna go directly there. And we're gonna change the weather. We're gonna make it foggy. We're gonna make it to where we gotta really put these instruments to the test. So put the park and brake real quick. We're gonna go here. Gonna check out our weather preset pro here. Let's see. Freezing rain, gray and dull, heavy rain. You know what? Let's see what heavy rain looks like. Wow. That's tough. You know what? Let's lick the stamp and send it. Let's put it on there. Let's send it. All right. So with that being said, let's change our barometer. Pressing the B key always resets your barometer to whatever weather conditions you have. So yeah, not a lot of visibility. We're going to entrust our instruments here. So let's go ahead and go to our GPS here. Let's go. Let's set the flight plan. Let's clear this flight plan. Yep. Boom. Set origination. Kissimmee. Set destination. KMCO. Boom. Perfect. And let's go back. Let's go back again. As you can see, we got to make a right-hand turn. It's not far. 10.9 nautical miles. Procedure. I want to do an... We're going to have to do an ILS approach. I want to do ILS runway 36 right. Perfect. So, looks like the approach plate pretty much takes us all the way to Flazzy, Silky, and Jakor. So what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to just fly directly to Silky and then go from there. Can I change the... No, it's okay. Let's just do that. We're gonna load the approach. And... oh, okay, so let's take a look. Alright, now that we have Flozzy selected, zoom out. Let's see how far it takes us out. Oh, that's not terrible. Okay, perfect. No problem. Let's do that. Now let's take a look at our altitude. So Flozzy, we got to be at 4,000 feet. So let's go ahead and set 4,000 feet. Okay. And Flozzy is heading about 132. Oh, 132. Let's go ahead and set that to 132. So as soon as we take off, we're going to go to 132 and then just set up the autopilot to nav, and it should take us to Flozzy. Now, the reason I'm setting up the heading bug is because sometimes if it's past a certain degree, it will not pick up the GPS. So it won't turn towards Flozzy. So I rather set it up with my heading bug. Once we get that right-hand turn made and we're getting closer, then I'll switch it over to nav. All right, so we're pretty much set. I'm going to go ahead and take off. Here we go. Let's do this. All right. Airspeed is alive. Again, we're going to rely on just instrumentation here and put our skills to the test. Here we go. Taking off. So we got positive rate of climb, 200 feet, gear up. Autopilot's on. Heading bug is on. We're going to engage our altitude. And we're going to do it via vertical speed. There we go, 1,200 feet. So go ahead and climb, my friend. Flaps up. All right, so we're making our way. So as you can see, we're almost there to 132. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to nav. And now it should just follow and to guide us to Flozzy. Zoom in. All right, so still climbing to 4,000 at 1,400 feet per minute. We're about 7.3 nautical miles from Flozzy, and then it should make us turn left and head towards Orlando runway 36. So let's take a look outside our windows. Oh yeah. Looks pretty much like Kissimmee in the summer. Don't recommend flying it in these conditions, but it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be a way to test our skills and our basic autopilot functions here. So, as you can see, we are in nav mode, vertical speed mode. We're climbing. We're just passing 2,500 feet. We're going to go up to 4,000 as Flozzy required. As you can see here, 4,000. Then after that, we're going to pretty much turn north, and we're going to make our way down to 3,000 to Silky. So far, so good. Again, hands are off the controls. I promise you I can't fly this smooth. I'm going to bring the power down just a tad bit. All right. Looking good. Airspeed is about 180 knots as we're climbing, which is great. All right, so on my GNS 530, I can see that we're heading towards Flozzy, or we can just hit back here and Zoom out one bit here so you can see. I don't even have to zoom out. Flozzie's there. So pretty soon here is going to start making our left-hand turn towards Silky. Arrival at... Ooh. Arrival at waypoint Silky. So, let's see. There we are, turning left towards Silky. Beautiful. So, since we have to go down to 3,000 feet, I'm going to bring the power down just a tad bit. I'm going to switch this over. Let's see, 39, 33, 3,000. All right. So I'm going to do it this time through the airspeed hold. I'm going to bring the power down. There he goes, going down. All right, so Silky was pretty close, and it's already switching us over to Jardy. So let's take a look at what Jardy wants us to do. Or sorry, not Jardy, Jakor. So Jakor wants us to be at 1,600 feet, so we're going to go ahead and change this to 1,600. There we go, 1,600 feet. And I'm going to go into this mode. We need to get this plane down, down, down. Alright, we can see a little bit of the ground here, which is good. Looks like we cleared one of the rain clouds, but we're probably going to be right in the soup again. So we're just passing 2,200 feet. We're about 1.8 nautical miles from Jakor. 1,900, so it's going to work out beautifully. Perfect. So we're going to pick up the speed a little bit here. All right. And as you can see, we're just about to hit Jakor, and after Jakor is runway 36. So we're at 1,600 feet. I'm going to go ahead and set flaps 1. And I'm going to switch this over to approach. And there she goes. So you can see it activated the glide slope. Perfect. So gear down. Transitioning over to gear down. Let's wait for the 3 green. Three green, flaps 1. Bring the power down. All right, we're at 1,200 feet. Look, we're on the glide slope. And we're gonna just pray that we land this smoothly. As Captain Gonzo says, at this point, this is the part where you sit there, enjoy yourself, and watch and make fun of us in the comments. So we're clearing 1,000 feet. I'm gonna go full flaps. Getting close to 80 knots. Bring a little bit of power. A little bumpy. Really can't see anything in front of us. Can't see the ground. 700 feet. As we're at 500 feet, I can see a little bit of the ground, which is great. That's good news. 400. I see the ground. Do I see runway lights? Not really. I see runway lights. Beautiful. Beautiful. What a beautiful thing it is to have ILS capabilities. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and deactivate the autopilot. I have control. Come on, baby. And touchdown. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Man, it is so satisfying when you get these things to work right and you're able to make a safe landing. Guys, look at the conditions. It's crazy. And we did this in a TBM850 from blacksquare. Not in a not in an Airbus where it has Cat 3 landings where this thing, you know, that thing lands itself. We pretty much relied on our instruments, relied on our skills, and it brought us home. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to cut the tutorial here. I really hope that this is able to allow you to get an understanding of the basic controls. We're probably drifting here a little bit. No, not a problem. But yeah, at least a little bit of the basic autopilot controls for you to be able to navigate, you know, take the hands off the controls and enjoy the scenery, and to do, you know, challenging stuff like this, you know, inclement weather landings, and then using the instrumentation to guide you home. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We're putting a lot of effort into creating tutorial series for you guys. Honestly, man, if we can help one person, that's enough for us. You know, that brings us a lot of satisfaction, myself and Captain Gonzo. So with that being said, click the subscribe, hit the bell, do the spiel thing. You know what to do. And we'll catch you on the next one. As always, guys, happy flying.